my computer. Okay, and lastly, I wanna make sure that you all get the most out of this, so I'm gonna encourage you to have your cameras on. Now, forewarning, I can't see you all, so don't think it's because I'm gonna, like, point at all of you and, like, judge and be like, "Oh my gosh, Melissa's room is such a mess." Like, no, we just chatted with Melissa on Instagram, but it's so that you show up more and you're more attentive and you learn better throughout this experience. Because when you have your camera off and then you're like, "I'm just gonna have a sip of water, I'm gonna go to snack, I'm gonna go, like, check my phone." So having the camera on is really just so you stay attentive to this. And trust me when I say that, what you learn in today's training can absolutely change your life. Do you feel that? I feel it. And I wish that I had something like this, especially throughout my journey, especially this time last year. Like I said, I'm going to share a little bit about my journey, but this is the training, how I built a six-figure business by being a queen. And in particular, a six-figure pageant coaching business, which I don't know if that's like a world first or anything. Nobody talks about this in the pageant world. So I shared with the queendom, with the gals who are in our space, that this was super edgy. I'm like, I don't know how everybody's going to receive this. I don't know if people are going to unfollow me, if they're going to hate me, if they're going to judge me. But more importantly, I felt like I needed to share this with the women who were in my space, who were coming in my space, not just because it's an incredible milestone and I love to celebrate myself and the women around me, but to show you all what is possible and to show you that even your craziest dream that maybe nobody else has ever achieved can be achieved by you when you are doing the right steps and when you are committed to the process. Can I get a heck yes if you are here, if you're ready to go? If you're here and ready to go, comment heck yes in the chat. If you've never been, we have quite a lot of new gals in our training. Jewel's here. I'm so happy to have Jewel on live. Avery's here as well. So many gals who I haven't seen in a while. I love this. Alexa, Aaliyah. I love it when you're interactive in the chat because, again, it's another way that you stay committed. It's a way that you get to stay present and it makes it so much more fun. Like, we have the best community in the entire pageant industry. Find a better community. I'm sure you could, but like, we have amazing women in our space that can absolutely change your pageant world. So let's get into it. I want to start with knowing, why are you here? Like I said, we've done 3 free trainings now in the last couple of weeks. This is our 3rd free training. Maybe you've done the other ones. Maybe there are some women who are like, I've had enough of Maria. I've had enough of the pageant stuff. I'm going to enjoy my December. I'm going to enjoy my evening, and I'm not going to do like all the free trainings. I'll just catch the replay. But you are all here for a specific reason. This training is not the title of anything that I've ever done before. It's something so much more personal. And in fact, I didn't even really give out any details about what this was going to be, but yet you're all here. And I'd love to know, what is that reason for you? What was the reason that you said yes? If you're just like, Maria, you are on fire and I want some of that fiery energy, that's totally okay. Toying with how to level up my platform and make it more mainstream with my career. I want to monetize it and worry less about finances. Jewel, that's incredible. And I believe it's Elaine and I just had a similar conversation about that. Avery wants to make her dreams a reality. Avery, what are your dreams? What is that dream? I know Avery's going for a title. Of course, I know what Avery's doing. She's one of our gals, but why are you here? Are you here because you're someone who wants to win a pageant and maybe it's taken a few tries? Are you looking to start your own business, your own coaching business? Maybe you're in a career that you don't totally love and you want to shift into something that really lights your soul on fire. You want to grow as a person and as a queen and surround yourself with women winning. Yes, Kaylee, making excuses instead of absolutely going for it. I'm ready to show everyone I'm the one. Yes, that's going to be a theme today. Kirsten's here. She's a dream she's been chasing, and I want to get that title. I'm ready for all the tips and tricks. You are so going to get it, and it's going to stop feeling like you're chasing something. It's going to feel like you're on an adventure. But Clarissa's like, for the experience, always good to learn. I love it. I'm here for it. Keep going in the chat. I want to know, what do you want to create for your life in 2024? And trust me when I say, the things that I give you, like, I don't, excuse my language, I don't half-ass these trainings. I am like, what I do and the way I live my life, the achievements I've had, they change women's lives. They change women's worlds around them. And so if you are ready to fully change your life and be a completely different, not different, but an elevated, a more successful, a happier, more fulfilled version of you this time next year, I want to know, what is it that you want to create? Is it more freedom in your life? Is it more income? Do you want to have the title? Do you want to create more opportunities? What does it look like? when you are being the queen. Some of you said, like, I just want to be the queen. I just want to learn. But I always say, if we don't know where we're going, if we don't know what we want to do with our time, with our life, how the heck are we going to get there? So what is it you want to create? Winning Miss Illinois, being able to monetize my platform. Maybe you want to start your own pageant system. I don't know if there are any people who do run businesses here, but maybe your goal is to double your income or double the amount of clients you take on. For my directors, you want to double the amount of delegates in, financial freedom, winning the title, knowing what you want to create. And you'll slowly learn through the 3 pillars that we talk about of being a queen, how important it was for me to claim the thing that I wanted most, which was to be a full-time pageant coach. I want to start my own pageant and also finding a job I love without bad stress. Hey, yo, Kaylee, amen, right there. I want to be able to set clearer goals and intention for my future, especially in pageantry. Come on now. Yes. Women with vision are going to change the world. And my goal today is even to get you 10% more clear on what it is you want so that we can teach you the 3 pillars of being a queen so you can get there within the next year. So that you look back last year and we're like, oh my gosh, how did it take me so long to start doing this? It's like, if only I had known these things sooner. So that's why I'm happy you're all here today. So based on the vision you wanted to create, what 2 things, 1 to 2 things would you need to change to make this your reality? Whether it's starting the pageant, getting more financial freedom, winning the crown, setting clear goals. What are 1 to 2 things that you need to do, even on today's training, to make sure that this becomes your reality? And if you follow me, I know some of you follow me on TikTok, some of you follow me on the gram, some of you follow me on all of the things. I don't like to leave my goals up to chance. If I say, oh, I hope this will happen, or maybe this will happen, that's true. That's what's going to happen. Like, maybe it'll happen. I'm someone who takes life by the horns, and I'm like, this is my life. I'm choosing what I get to do. I know I can't control everything, but the things I can control, this is where my power is. And this is what I'm going to do. So if it's, I'm going to pay attention on today's training, I'm going to take notes and be interactive. I'm going to set clearer goals. I'm going to network with other women. I'm going to invest in the goal. Yes, cut the BS, change my mindset, invest more time into me, set goals, prioritize them, time management. Yes, Alexa, hold myself accountable, doing it, going all in, take the next step, just do it. If you have pen and paper, I also encourage you to write these things down. Even if you never look back at these notes, you're going to remember that you shifted who you were today to become the queen of your life so that you can accomplish anything. Taking more time, taking my platform to the next level. Last question before we really dive in. Do you trust that you are the queen who can lead herself to make this happen? It's one thing to know the steps. We know what we want to do. We know what we should be doing, but do you trust yourself? It's just a simple heck yes, 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 amen, whatever it is. Yes, but could use some encouragement. That's why you're here. I love this. Again, it's one thing to set the goal and to know what to do. It's a whole other thing to trust yourself and to have the courage to go after those things. Lots of women have every opportunity to change their life, to, build their platform, start the system, grow a business, change their career, and they don't do it because they don't trust themselves. But we are queens that trust themselves. Yes, Gabby. Yes, Alexa. Yes, Jewel. I love this. I want to quickly go into my story. Again, so many first timers here. I love it. Remind me who is first, because some of you are just joined. If it's your first time, just write first, or if it's your first time in a while, because heck, if it's been, a year or a couple of months, like, I'm constantly growing and evolving. Okay, Alexa, Clarissa, Kaylee, I recognize you all from social media, and I'm so happy to have you here. Even you, Jewel. Jewel's like my OG day one gal, and I haven't seen her in a bit. So my journey, for those of you who follow me, I'm at the Pageant Gal on social media. I joined pageants in 2016, which kind of feels like forever ago, because we're 2023 right now. But I was 21 years old when I started my journey. I was in nursing school. I saw, I had an epiphany that I wanted to be a queen, right? I didn't know that's what it was, but like, that's really what it was. And then a few months later, after taking better care of myself, I saw the opening for a pageant. It was a one-day pageant. I placed top 3. The second pageant I competed in 2 months later was a local pageant, and I won that along with the best interview and best photo award. I was shocked. I was like, who the heck am I? But my journey didn't stop there. And over a 5-year time period, I won 4 titles, including 2 national titles. I'm a former Miss Canada, and I won an international title with Royal International Miss. If you all know the Royal International Miss system, comment RIM in the chat. Some of you are national or state title holders with them, or previous state title holders with them. Yeah, I know Gabby was there. Jules, a former RIM Canada. I don't know if I think I didn't see Amber here, but Amber competes with them. We had 2 gals just win. Anyways, not about RIM, but I won 4 titles in 5 years. I competed in 8 pageants total, and I placed in every single pageant. And being 5'2", that's how tall I am. You can't tell from here. You could see my crown case in the back. Being 5'2", from Canada, from a place where not a lot of people go on to win international titles, to do this was really significant, and people really started turning their heads to me in 2019. Now, 2019, I had just won Miss Canada. I had finished most of my reign. So people saw me that I won the first 2 pageants, 2 out of 3 pageants I competed in. The other one I was top 3. And people started looking at me different. They were like, you've got some secret sauce that I want a part of. And so women started asking me to coach them. I think I had like 3 clients in 2019. Jewel was one of them. I had about 3 clients in 2019. And it took me a few years to really get and own. Let me tell you, the minute I started coaching, my soul was on fire. I knew it's what I loved. When I saw that the work I did, the way I worked with women, was not just helping them get better results in pageants, but it was literally helping them change their life and be more confident in their day-to-day settings and relationships, my soul was lit up. But it took me a few years of figuring this out, of kind of stumbling and, not being all in on what I wanted, which was this, being full-time, having, dozens, hundreds of women in my spaces that I get to support and coach year after year. So last year, at the beginning of 2022, I said, no more. Comment no more. If you just know, you're like, whatever I've been doing up until now, we're done with it. It's getting bigger. We're changing our life right now. I said, no more. Just like back in 2016, when I said, no more, Maria, we're meant to be a queen. We're going to start being a queen. And then we found pageants. Last year, 2022, January, I said, no more. I am going to do this full time. In 2021, I started working I work as a hospice and palliative care nurse. I don't know if everybody knows what that is, but I had to start working the holidays in 2021, and I hated it. I love my job. It's a great job, but I was like, I want to be with my family. And so that day I was like, no more. We are going all in. We're going to be a full-time business owner. We're going to be a full-time pageant coach. It took 18 months for that dream to come to fruition. 18 months of working day after day to fully be able to leave my full-time nursing job so that I could pursue pageant coaching full-time. And actually, I could have done it after 12 months, but it took me a little bit of, what I'm going to teach you today, the 3 pillars of being a queen, for me to really go all in. And then when I was away at Miss Universe this year, when I came back and I was doing my bookkeeping, I was like, holy crap-a-moly, we hit 6 figures. As a pageant coach, as someone who is a full-time nurse, I was able to double my nursing income, double my income from last year, leave a full-time secure job that only really made me half happy and half myself to pursue something that, no, I don't know if there's like any other full-time pageant coaches in Canada, but even in the industry, so many coaches kind of do this like half in, half out thing where like it's on the side, they do it, but it's not like their full-time thing. And I was like, this has got to be a first. We've got to share this with the community, not because it's like, oh my gosh, Maria's rich and stuff, because that's really not what it's like, but to show you that it took a long time to get here. It was fast, but not so fast. But as you can see, it doesn't take me a long time to get shit done. It does not take me a long time to figure things out. Most people compete for years there. And then on top of it, this year, not only did I start working with, higher level clients going to big national and international pageants, but I also had coaches and directors and pageant service providers, people who would do social media for different pageants. I don't know if anybody works with any of those people. Come to me and ask me, Maria, how do I grow my business? Maria, how do I do this? How do I get more people in? How do I get people to stop asking me for free stuff? And I was like, wait, I've been in this way less time than most people. But what I know is that I've got my three pillars of being a queen, something that has helped me differentiate myself from every other coach in the industry, where I don't have decades of experience. I don't have a Miss USA, a Miss Universe, a Miss Earth, or Miss World title under my belt. But what I've got is my unique edge. I've got my three pillars of being a queen that I grab onto and I hold on. And because I've owned these three things, yes, it's taken a little bit to, win the international title. Yes, it's taken a bit to run the full-time business, but I've truly been able to create a life that I didn't even realize was possible for me, with the fulfillment, with the happiness and the purpose to back it up. If you are on board to creating your life in the next 12 months with more happiness, more fulfillment, more purpose, more impact, because that's what we're doing as queens. That's why we're in the pageant realm, right? It's not just for the crowns and sashes, it's for the purpose, the impact, the happiness. Comment me. Yes, Cheyenne's already here. Me. Yes. That's what it's really about. That's really what we're doing. And if this is your first time working with me, this is a huge thing that I work on. Whenever people send me DMs, Maria, how do I better my interview? And I'm like, nobody taught me how to better my interview. Nobody taught me how to improve my runway. I didn't even know pageant coaches existed until like a couple of years ago. I did all of those things, but what I worked on was being the queen of my life. And as I started to do that more, that's what helped me win. That's what set me apart in competition. And that's what I want to teach you all about today. Whether your goal is to run a business, direct a pageant, increase your income, win the crown, set clear goals. First thing I want you to know, and the biggest thing I need you to know before we go into everything today, is that you've got to believe that you are the one. You've got to believe that you were put on this earth to do the thing that you want to do, that you are not like everybody else, that your journey is not meant to be like everybody else. Because no matter what I teach you here today, there's going to be days after this where you go through life and people ask you and question, why are you doing this? You shouldn't be doing that, because the dreams that we have are different from the rest of society. People are not used to it. People are not comfortable with it. Often the dreamers and the queens of the world, people try to like make them be small because that's not what they know. And so if you can claim right now, even if it doesn't totally feel accurate or right, I want you to comment, I am the one. Because that was a huge thing I needed to believe, not just when I started pageants in 2016, not just when I claimed in 2022 that I was going to be a full-time business owner, not even just now where I'm claiming that I'm going to be a seven-figure business owner and that we're going to be the biggest, pageant life confidence coach in the entire industry. But like every single day, I have to believe that I'm the one, because there's so much around me that I could easily buy into the fact that I'm not the one. It was so much easier. It'd be so much easier, trust me when I say, to just be content at my nursing job where I get a paycheck every 2 weeks and I go to work and I know my schedule and I leave, right? Where I don't have to look for clients. I don't have to market or advertise. Don't have to show up on social media. It would be easier to do it that way. But I'm not someone who wants to sacrifice effort for unhappiness. Like, I'm okay going the hard way for something I love, because I believe I'm the one to do it, even if nobody else has. So I want you to know, if your dream feels impossible, if you feel like, okay, I want to do this, but nobody else ever has, I want you to know I'm in the crazy boat with you, and that I believe in you. I believe you're the one. I believe that your dream is not too big and that you can do it. I'm the one. I believe in me. That's what we've got to anchor in. And then the rest, the strategy, the interview, it's easy. But first, you got to believe in you. Are you ready to send it? Comment send it if you are ready to learn the three pillars of what it takes to be a queen, so you can build and create any life you want over the next 12 months, whether it's completely change your career, whether it's start up your own business, direct a pageant, win the crown, grow the platform, win Miss USA, win Miss Universe. Like, let's go all the way. Let's send it. Let's send it together. I don't want to be at the top alone. I want you all there with me. So let's go. These are the three things we're going to be talking about today. And then at the end of today, I'm going to share with you the opportunity of what's coming next for those of you who do want to continue working together and you're like, I need more of this magic, more of this creation in my life. But we're not going to talk about that now. Don't forget Miss America. Oh yeah. Okay, Shan, no worries. We're not forgetting anybody. To be a queen requires you to do these three things. First of all, I found this quote and I was like, we've got to share it with the pageant gals. A queen is a female leader who inherits the position by right of birth. So immediately what you want by saying you are a queen and the goals that you want, it's like you just have to know it's your birthright. Like you don't have to have a reason for wanting more. You don't have to have a specific reason for wanting more income, double the amount of delegates in your system, for winning another crown, for having bigger impact, for having more fulfillment. You don't need an example or a reason. You just know it's your birthright that you get to be a queen, that you get to lead, that you get to have these goals. And over the last couple of years, these are the three things that I've really had to anchor in being the queen. The rules, which if you think about it, like the way a queen rules, we're actually going to talk about queen rules, like things that you have to commit to each day if you want to create your reality. Cheyenne's like, wow, I'm already blown away. Second thing is a queen reign. So rules are like governing guidelines, but reigns are like the daily actions that we take. And the third thing that a queen does is she revolutionizes, which is probably my favorite part of this entire training, because so many of us want to look at what other people are doing and ask ourselves, well, if she's doing it that way, it must work. So I need to do it that way. Right? Or her platform looks like this. So that platform works and the judges will like that more than what I like to do. So I'm going to do that. Right? A queen doesn't do things the way that other people does. She revolutionizes and does it her own way, because the way we say it is like every strategy works, every platform works, every interview. Yeah, like all of it works, sure. But who are you and what do you stand for? Rules, reigns, revolutionizes. Let's get into it. First one, the rules. So like I said, I'm really going to be sharing this as my journey from January of 2022 till now. And the rules I had to set, the non-negotiables I had to set to get through the days where I was exhausted, where I was working midnights, where I was working 12-hour shifts, where I had clients messaging me and then ghosting me, and then I was asked to work an extra shift, and then I had a hard day. Like, these are the things I had to anchor in as like my queen rules so that I could get to my goal 18 months later and on. The first thing is an all-in approach. And I love what was just shared in the chat. I'm always exhausted and I'm ready to no longer live like this. Does anyone else resonate? Does anyone else feel like, even if your term, maybe it's not exhausted, but it's like, I'm always confused. I'm always looking for what's next. I'm always wondering why me? When is it going to happen? And I'm done. I can so relate to that. And each day that I was in those positions of like, I was literally exhausted, everyone. I actually have a picture I used to show. I mean, they're still there. They're covered up a little bit, where like, I just had like 2 black eyes because I was so exhausted all the time. Now, guess what? The dark circles are still there, but I can rest. And when I need a nap, I can take a nap. When I need a vacation, I can take a vacation. Joel's like, I found my people, stressed over things that I can't control. So here's the thing. Before January of 2022, I was not all in. How many of you can truly say you're all in on your goal? And we're going to go into what all in actually looks like. But I really had to have an all in mindset and approach. And I want you to know, this is going to sound wild. And what I want to do is challenge. Is it okay? Type yes in the chat if it's okay if I challenge a lot of what society, your parents, the people around you have told you up until now. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Because I don't want, if y'all are not comfortable with being triggered, this ain't the place for you. Okay. Because you need to be triggered to be moved, to be changed. It's a lot harder to be 90% in. It's a lot harder to be 99% in than it is to be all in. And here's why. When you are not all in, you're constantly dipping into doubt. You're constantly 1 foot into the goal, 1 foot out. And what that does is that gives you an escape path. Because if you don't hit the goal, if you don't hit the goal within a year, within 18 months, within 2 years, you can say, well, I was never really like all in. So you don't disappoint yourself. It was so much harder for me to be half in than it was for me to be all in and really claiming day after day, never knowing when I was going to be able to work full time in my business. So this mindset and approach of like, I'm literally all in, which means I have to be honest with myself in the ways that I'm not all in right now. And I'm going to share with you exactly what it looks like to be half in. So before I was all in on the fact that I wanted to be a full-time pageant coach, these were some things I did when I was not all in. One, how many of you know me in my personal training days? That was like, we're going back a couple of years. So instead of claiming that I wanted to be a pageant coach, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do personal training because that feels more normal. Like that feels like something society can get on board with. That feels like something that people would get because I'm like a nurse. Okay. Yeah, they would get the health side. I was afraid to tell others I was a coach. If I said I was a coach, it was like, I'm just a coach. I'm not a pageant coach. Don't ask me anything about it. I didn't invest in coaching, like real coaching to help me build a business. I didn't invest in education to help me get to a point where I could run a business full time. I had no idea how to run a business. I was a good personal trainer. I am a good nurse. I know these things, but they were not the things that I loved. And they were all ways that I would like sidetrack, not going after what I really wanted. I want you to reflect right now in the chat. How are you sidestepping going after what it is you really want? Some other things I did. I applied for dozens of nursing jobs. It was like, let me hopefully find something I love so that I can get this dream out of my head and I don't have to pursue it. Let me find something that like I like a little bit so that I can just like be comfortable with it. I question going back to school. A lot of people do this. It's like, I don't want to go back to school because like I genuinely want to go back to school. It's like, I don't know what to do with my life, so I'm just going to keep going to school. I worked with everybody who wanted to work with me. Let me tell you, the people who are looking to do the work to change the world, who know that they are here on a mission to make other people's lives better, to win big crowns, are not the same people who are going to Little Miss Sally Sue down the streets one day Grand Supreme pageant. But I was working with everybody and it was exhausting and it was so unfulfilling instead of really like claiming who I wanted to work with and the women that were here to do the deeper work, right? I worked with all age divisions. Now I don't. I'm very sad. We're going to talk about what all in look like. I didn't charge the rate of success I was getting my clients. My clients in pageant coaching, like get this, were literally changing careers, increasing their income by tens of thousands of dollars. And I was like, okay, like $400 for like 3 months of coaching. Like it made no sense. It made no sense, but I was always like half in, half out. It was always like the side hustle. It was always the side income. So my first rule was I needed to be all in. I needed to choose and claim in 2022 of January, every day that I was all in, that this was the goal. So after I committed to being all in, and I'm going to tell you the moment that it literally changed for me. After being all in, I committed to coaching long term. Everybody, I'm going to be honest with you all. I have not stopped coaching with coaches, like investing in coaches to help me build a business, to help me run programs, learn marketing, learn how to run a business ever since January of 2022. So when people say, oh, well, I don't have enough, I don't got that, like, I just don't resonate because I'm like, I'm all in. Like, I don't have an excuse not to do this now because I said I was all in, right? Like, I have to literally buy into the reason that I'm here to go all in. And it took a while, like I said, to get here. But guess what? I'm still committed to working with mentors to help me. I made a plan to leave work full time. And what that meant is that I needed to get my finances a track. I needed to learn bookkeeping before. I don't know if anyone's ever like seen this. Yes, pageantry is a job, but society doesn't see it that way. Society is not going to be the people. Society is not the person who goes to your bed every night wondering why you're not where you want to be. Society is not going to be there with you when you're 40 years old, 50, 60 years old, looking back at your life, wishing you had done the things you wanted to do. All in look like I stopped working with every single client. Everybody comes to me, Maria, do you work with teens? Do you work with teens? Can you work with my daughter? I have a 2-year-old. I have a preteen. No, 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 no. If you're a teen here, love you all. If you're a preteen, I love you all. I don't work with those women in my one-on-one spaces. I work with women who have maturity, independence, emotional intelligence, where I can say, hey, this is what needs to be changed, and they go and do it. There's a little bit more autonomy there. We're building an international movement together. Charging the prices that replicate the value and success I get from my clients. This year alone, we have an 88% placement and win rate for our one-on-one clients that worked with us for a minimum of 1 week, a minimum of like a 1-week package. And I look around and I'm like, every other coach I look at is just posting winners. And I don't know how accurate that is of their business. I'm just going to say it like it is. My mom is a bookkeeper, would love to hire her so she could semi-retire, right? I had to be honest with myself about how I wasn't all in. How can I run a business if I know nothing about bookkeeping, if I know nothing about taxes, if I don't know how to save, if I don't know how to do all of these things? And lastly, I owned being a coach. I started telling people I wanted to be a coach. I'll never forget, I had a conversation with my parents where they sat down with me and they're like, Maria, we get it. Okay. I don't know if anyone's ever had these conversations. It was a wild day. They were like, we get it. You love coaching, but eventually you're going to need to stop. You're going to need to find like a full-time job and you're going to have to settle. You're not going to be totally like happy, but you'll do your coaching on the side and you'll do what you got to do to make ends meet and you'll have your family. You'll go on a vacation like once a year and that'll be it. Yes, Kaylee says with my dad all the time. And that day I looked at them and I said, I love you guys so much. And I thank you for helping me with my education, but I won't be happy. Like I will literally not be able to live my life the way that I want to live if I don't do this. And I told them, I was like, and I could do this, like, hear me out. I could do this, but 40 years from now, I'm going to look back and wish that I had taken that opportunity now. So I've got to do it now. And I said, trust me, if things don't work out, I'm a smart person. Like I will do what I need to. I will get the job. I will make ends meet. I'm not going to be like living on the street, but right now I've got to do it. I've got to do this. And let me tell you, the flowers and balloons that I got were from my family, from my parents. I'm going to get emotional right now. So when you say I don't have people that support me, I get it. It's not that my parents didn't support me, but people don't get these crazy dreams that most people don't have, which is why you need to be in spaces with other people who are dreaming crazy and doing crazy things, because it helps you believe into yourself a little bit more into the dream. And guess what? It took a little bit. I didn't believe it much either. It takes a little bit of time. And the second thing, we'll go through these points, not quicker, but a little bit more. My mom used to say the same thing until she saw how happy I was. Let me tell you, now they see what I do and they're like my biggest cheerleaders. You guys, like my dad will call me after a Pageant Gal Live. Who joins Pageant Gal Lives on Mondays? I don't know if Melissa's here. Me and Melissa are Pageant Gal Lives every Monday. Comment yes if you jump on the live. We do a live series every single Monday. Clarissa's usually there. And my dad will call me after a Pageant Gal Live. He'll be like, Maria, chin up, crown on. And I'm like flabbergasted that this is life now, because this was so not how it was before. But like I said, I had to believe that I was the one. And so I had to show them like, hey, I know it doesn't look like a full-time thing right now, but I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna be all in. I'm gonna work on it so you all can see like I can run a business. I can do this. And the second thing I had to do was invest my time, invest my energy, right? Like all of these things kind of compound into mentorship, education, mindset, and finances. So much of the time, and correct me if I'm wrong, people will tell you, you don't need to invest. Like just keep it on your own, keep it off to the side. Don't figure out how to do it by investing your money to get help. And so that's what I did for a couple of years. And eventually I was like, okay, I have to be honest with myself. If I want to run a business full time, how is that going to happen if I don't know taxes? How is that going to happen if I don't know how to send an email to an email list? Like that doesn't make sense. I had to invest. So what did investing look like? And again, it's not that you have to do all of these things all at once, but I had to start getting comfortable investing to grow. So I had to invest, first of all, in mentorship. Now, I chose to invest in mentorship. I chose that, you know what, this is probably going to take a lot longer if I try to do it myself. I would rather get in the room and work with people that I can ask my questions to directly. And if you follow me for a while, you know that's why it's hard for me to see people ask for free tips or to have people say like, you don't need to work with someone one-on-one. And it's not because you can't, but it's because that's just never how I've done it. Because I'd rather jump past the figure it out yourself by getting in the room and investing and getting a return on my investment by becoming the person who can run the business, win the crown, whatever it is. Education to learn the skills needed for success. So over the last year, would you be surprised that in 2022, so like I said, I went all in January 2022. In April, 4 months later, I got COVID. I got COVID so bad, everybody, okay? But you know what I had? I had 10 days off. And you know what I did on the second day that I found out I had COVID? I purchased a program about content creation so that I can learn how to create better content on Instagram, on my social media feeds throughout that 10 days because knew I had the time. I was sick as a dog in bed. I had like one of those like breakfast trays and I had my laptop on top of it and I was like this, but I was watching and I was learning. And would you believe that That week was the first day. How many of you have seen the duck walk video that I've done on TikTok or Instagram? Comment duck walk if you've seen it. That video was created and posted. It wasn't created. I already had it filmed. It was posted. Yeah, so many people are like, I know this. It was posted that week and it's gone viral. I don't know if it's got 1 million views yet, but it's huge. It grew, it doubled my following and like every platform. I invested in my mindset. I literally took programs like weekend long programs, day long programs that had to do with mindset and overcoming doubts. Like when I say mindset, I mean things that help me overcome the doubt, the fear of what if I don't do this? What if I fail? How can I do this? No one else is doing it. Like all of those different things. So programs to help my mindset, my energy, my identity believe it was possible. And then literally investing in my finances. So I said I was all in January of 2022. And I hear you all when you say, listen, Maria, like investing can be a lot. I've got a lot of expenses. I hear you. I live on my own. I'm getting married next year. I totally get it. In February, actually, it was at the end of January, part of me going all in, I said to myself, I'm going to get a full-time job. A full-time line just came up at my work. I wasn't actually working full-time. And I said, I'm going to apply to this full-time line so that when I get it, everything I make from the business, I can reinvest back into the business. And I'll know that my day-to-day finances are okay because I've got my full-time income. And then once I make enough to leave once I make enough to like be able to go full-time in my business, I will leave the full-time line. That's how all in I am. And I knew it was going to be exhausting. The line that I took in nursing, it was days and nights in the same week. So I would work a night shift, have a day off, and then work days, and then work nights, have a day off, work days. And I would work weekends and I would work holidays. I would work a 12-hour shift on the weekend, come home, and then run a training for those of you who are in Nail Your Pageant platform. But I said, I'm doing this. I'm all in. I'm not making excuses. Not that it's, not saying that anybody here is making excuses, but I said, how can I invest in this? And I knew it would probably take me a lot to invest to figure it all out. So investing in things, not just programs, but in photo shoots. Since then I've purchased like a bookkeeping service. I purchased, what's it called? Not templates, but like legal documents so that I know that when I'm like working with clients, I'm like, hey, like this is legitimate, right? It's not just something I wrote up in a Word document. Like, like I'm a legitimate business owner, right? I invested in my taxes and got an accountant. I paid a boatload of taxes this year and I was so happy. I was like, we're doing it right. Called out. I'm making excuses. I need to be called out. Bless you. Thank you, everyone. And again, I want to share the honest reality of what it's looked like because this has not been easy. But let me tell you, that first piece of when I said, I believe I'm the one and I'm all in, I couldn't see my excuses anymore. I only saw opportunity. Nobody's slacking, Kaylee. We're all waking up. Comment wake up. If you are waking up right now, if this is giving you a wake up call, that you have so much time, you have so much effort that you can be putting in. One thing we do when we're all in, we don't look at how far we have to go or how we haven't been doing it. It's just like every day is a new chance to be all in. But this is what it looked like. So I took a full-time line. Get this, before I even applied for the full-time line, I said I was all in and I was going to invest a lot more. And then the full-time line became available. And I was like, you know what? I see this as being the way. So this is why when I tell you all, I want you to be clear on what your goals are. Be really crystal clear so that when things come up in your path, whether it's pageants, business, directing, whatever it is, that way when things come up in your path, that you're like, oh my gosh, like this is I need to do this because I just said I wanted this thing. And then this thing came up and it's going to help me get there. You're more clear and you're more connected with your intuition because you know what you want. Those were the 2 rules. Simple. 2 rules. Be all in every day, invest. You get to be and take that however you want. And we're always evolving, right? We're never perfect. We can always be doing this better. So don't think that, oh, well, I'm not all in because I'm not doing this. Like you're always learning and evolving what the new level of you, what a new level of all in, a new level of invested means. The second thing a queen does is she reigns. Reigns is the physical actions that you take on a daily journey. So think about it. You win the crown. You have a 12-month reign. Comment queen if you've ever been a title holder before, if you've ever had any title, even if it's like an appointed title. So you know that there's some level of responsibility. You know when you set events, when you go to events, You have an action to complete. You know it's a role. You know it's a job. You know that there's something to do. So we're going to talk about the actions and daily journey and what that looked like. Daily moves. So I know I said that raining is kind of like the daily moves you make, but let me tell you, when I say that, building this and having you all here, even if you're watching in the Queendom in the Facebook group, I can't see those comments. This has been a 7-day week job. 7 days a week. How many? 30 to 31 days a month, 52 weeks of the year. This was when I'm on break at work at midnights, I would film content. This was when I had a day off, I was learning programs. I was taking the replays of the programs that I had. This was in the times that I could, I showed up on IG Live. That's why we haven't done an IG Live series in the past years, because I didn't have a consistent time I could, but I did it when I could. It was refining the programs, creating the programs, because those of you who work with me know I don't do a lot of one-on-one coaching. A lot of what I do is in group spaces where women get to expand together, where you get to learn the skills, develop yourself, like improve how you're being, how you're showing up strategically and energetically, having DM conversations, posting on social media, doing trainings. Like I said, selling, like making the content, doing all of the things every day. I'm not saying, and like in no way am I saying burn yourself out. In no way I'm saying don't take a day off. But you have to understand that being this and doing this for me, it was more important than like one day of relaxing just because I said I wanted to relax. And I'm also the type of person who I just have a lot of high energy. I'm like the Energizer Bunny. And I know I've got a lot to give, and I know my capacity. I know when I'm pushing myself a little bit too far. And I did rest when I needed to, but it meant that every day after work, when I would rest, when I would wake up, it was like, okay, make sure we've got content prepped. Make sure we respond to that DM conversation. Make sure we run this program and we put up the replay. Make sure we can send out an email. It was something of a daily move. Drop in the chat right now. What is a daily move? What are like, not even just one, what are like 3 to 5 daily moves that you could make to get towards the goal that you put in the beginning of our training today? Whether your goal is, again, more income, more freedom, win the crown, set clear goals. What are like 3 to 5 daily moves? Again, I don't want this to just be about me. This is to teach you how to embody the pillars of a queen and achieve your goal. Social media posting, more DM combos. How are you going to start DM combos? Mapping out programs and workshops. Jules got an incredible platform and virtual pageant she runs. 3 to 5 daily moves. Maybe it's waking up at the time you say you want to wake up at. Post on socials more consistently. What is more consistently, Christina? Is it weekly, 2 times a week? Stick to my schedule. What is the schedule? Is it every day before I go to bed, I'm going to plan out the next day? Network. I'm going to go to one networking event every week. That's kind of often, but every month, whatever. So I want you to actually say what the daily move is. More income is not a daily move. More free time with myself. It's like, okay, I'm going to plan 30 minutes of free time with myself to be creative and to think about my goal, whatever it is. Get connected with the people who motivate me. It's like every day I'm going to engage with 3 new accounts. It's like, what is the actual action that you can take? Post on social media. What is the move to show up for yourself every day, Gabby? These are awesome. Practicing my walking patterns 1 time a week. Specific daily moves, things that you could almost put on a checklist and check them off. 30 minutes doing new things. And again, you don't have to do all of these things every single day, but one thing every day. Because here's the thing, actions compound over time, and that's how you build momentum. Not by doing 10 hours of work one day and then nothing for a week. It's by doing small, consistent actions. Refine my content creation. Taylor, you've been doing so well. I've been loving your stories. Go to social networking once a month. Don't let my anxiety make decisions for me. So what does it look like when you make decisions for you? Daily moves. And keep going, because we're going to build on this now. The second way to reign, to give you an idea of like how reigning and how taking the daily actions didn't burn me out or lead to exhaustion was the fact that I raised my own standards. And I had three clear ways that I did that. So the first thing was that health equals wealth. I could not be somebody who's telling you all, be a queen, live your best life, win the crown, advocate for the platform, if I am not taking care of myself. So even though I was exhausted, even though a lot of the time taking care of my health and prioritizing, movement and eating right, whatever that means, was like the last thing on my to-do list. Cause again, I'm already working full time and then I'm running my business. And then I'm also, just living. Health was not the top priority, but I said it's still got to be up there. Because at the end of this, I said to myself, when I get to my goal, when I'm working as the 6-figure, 7-figure version of me, she takes care of herself. So think about the goal that you have. What does she do every day? And try to incorporate more of that. So I said the 6-figure version of me who works for herself, who has all of the time freedom, she would be moving her body every single day. And so that was something I had to get really consistent with. And that's why for like a year, I only did Zumba classes. I don't know if anybody saw like my videos. It wasn't because I just love Zumba. It's because that was the only thing that I could get to consistently 2 times a week to move my body, to have fun with, to get my mind off of the work I had to do or the stress or the feelings of what if not. Health equals wealth. So if one of the daily actions, even if it's not in the top 3, but in your top 5 actions, it should be something that has to do with your health. The 5 people rule. This is for the gals who say, I don't have people that support me. I don't have a very, understanding community. People in my town don't get it. My country's not good with this, yada, yada, yada. The 5 people rule. You are like the 5 people you surround yourself with the most. And I think of each person as like a plus, a minus, or a neutral. And I look at who is adding value to my life, who is making me feel like maybe my dreams aren't doable, and who's just kind of like neutral. It's like, okay, we can hang out. We're good. It's not like they bring me down. They don't like push me up. We're cool like that. And I thought about like, who are the 5 people around me and how can I make the 5 people around me be people who support me, be people who see me being my vision, my full-time business owner self. That's why for a long time, the 5 people look like my now fiance, my coaches, like the coaches and trainers that I worked with, and then the clients I was working with. Not saying that I didn't spend time with my family and friends, but I was like, I need to be around people. Like my subconscious mind needs to be around people who believe in me and who are helping me get to where I want to go. And again, I'm investing so much, I'm all in. Like I've got to make sure that the people around me are mirroring to me what's possible for me. And that's where I'm saying to you, like, if you're in spaces with people that don't get you, that don't support you, you can change those people. It's about having conversations and changing relationships. I've had a lot of friendships that have changed over time. People will not stay with you for forever. You don't realize it until you're going on the journey. And then you slowly start to realize, oh, this is not someone I want to have my energy around, because how they are in their life is a reflection of who I am. I used to hang out with some really mean pageant girls that would literally call other girls names when I was around them. And I was like, well, I want friends, so I'm going to hang out with you. And eventually I said, no, like they're nice people at times, but I'm like, this is not what I stand for. So I let go of those friendships. Who are the 5 people closest to you? And the last one is strong boundaries. Strong boundaries. What does that look like? It looked like literally asking myself on a day-to-day, on a month-to-month basis, what actions, what people, what decisions and habits am I making are filling up my cup? And what things are bringing me down? And then I looked at the stuff that was bringing me down and I said, okay, how can I change this? How can I distance myself from this? How can I set a boundary around this? So doing things like scrolling on social media, working with clients that I didn't enjoy. And by not enjoy, I don't mean that they're bad people, but I meant that they were people who sat in front of me, had no idea what they wanted to say, had no goals for themselves, didn't know how to put a sentence together, like just were not the people I wanted to work with. Strong boundaries with the people I surrounded myself with, strong boundaries with the habits. with the way I invested in myself. Out of these three, when it comes to raising your standards for the way that you reign, because again, a lot of women become queens, they win titles, but they do not have high standards for themselves. Their health is garbage. The people they surround themselves with are not, kind people. They don't support them and they have really low boundaries. They're letting themselves get pulled every which way. Strong boundaries look like saying no to things that I might have done in the past, but I didn't have the time or energy for. What if the boundary is with one of your parents? So I already shared my relationship with my parents has evolved. People's relationships evolve over time. I always say, as you grow, and that's why I say you really have to believe that you are the one. And that when you elevate yourself, when you win the crown, build the business, get the goal, get the dream, whatever it is, when you get it, everyone else around you, I truly believe, comes with you. Or, like I said, some people don't. And some people need more hard evidence than others, especially parents, because our parents just want to protect us. So it's about having more honest and strong conversations. But my parents didn't just believe me. They didn't just listen to me because I said I want to be a pageant coach. Like, I also had to show them that I was serious about this. And I had to take the actions to back up that I was serious about it. So out of these three standards that you have to raise for yourself, which one is the one that you want to start implementing even before 2024? Health is wealth, the 5 people rule, or strong boundaries. And strong boundaries and the 5 people rule doesn't mean just cut people off cold turkey, but maybe it's about having a conversation with yourself, with those people. The 5 people rule, Alexa says, and strong boundaries. A boundary I set when I came home from Miss Universe, I said, you know what? I'm like in this cycle of sleepiness where I like wake up late, I take a nap during the day, I'm tired at night, but I can't fall asleep. And I said, a boundary I'm setting for myself when I go home is I'm waking up early to work out. Not because I think that's the answer to everything, but because that's what my 7-figure self does. And that's what I want to be doing. And so the first day, my alarm went off and I jumped out of bed because I said, I'm setting a boundary with myself. Health is wealth, the people rule, strong boundaries, know what it is for you. And just recognize that you are raising your standards. And when you start to do that, people get kind of uncomfortable because they're like, hey, you should not protect yourself because that makes me uncomfortable, right? I get this a lot with people who ask me for free coaching. A boundary of mine now is I don't reply because those people are not looking to work with me. They're looking for free coaching. So it wastes my energy to have to respond to them saying that I don't do free coaching. And then guess what? They don't even reply. Even when I say, hey, this is how we could work together, no response. So a boundary of mine now, I don't reply to people who want free coaching. And it's not because I don't love them and I don't want them to win in life. It's just a boundary I have. I'm doing so much already. You see all the things I'm doing. I'm still doing all of those things. I don't got time for those people, for those things, for those actions. Chanel's like, tell us, let's go. Okay, the third thing, like I said, this is my favorite one. A queen revolutionizes. And again, a queen rules, she reigns, she revolutionizes. Revolutionize mean to do things in a completely new and unique way that has never been done before. Come on now, let's go. So these are the things that I had to do to revolutionize my path. And I believe I do this a lot in pageantry too. Again, that's why I think I won 4 titles in 5 years. Why I've placed in half the pageants I've competed in. Why, even though I haven't been a coach that long, I've been able to take my business full time. It's because of my ability to do things in a new way. And that's what I want you to know too. So comment your name way. Chanel's way, Jules' way, Leilani's way, Elaine's way. I want you to comment your name plus way. 17 people here. I want to see 17 responses. Gabby's way, the Aaliyah way, Clarissa's way. I even love how some of you are like, it's like a whole method. Melissa's way, Christina's way, Taylor's way, Avery's way. You all have your own way. Cheyenne's way. You all have your own way of doing things that is so unique and different to you that you need to anchor in so much more. The Chanel way, Kaylee's way. Your way is 10 times better than the way anybody else has ever done anything before. This is why it kind of breaks my soul when I see other people wearing outfits they see other people wear. Cause I'm like, no, like, yeah, like that gown worked for her, but your gown, like your way, the way you work it is going to be so much different than hers. It's a little, the example is a little bit off, but let me show you what that means. The minute I joined pageants, I felt like I was doing things differently than everybody else because I was on stage at my first competition against women who were like competing for Miss Universe Canada that didn't place in the top 5. Meanwhile, I placed in the top 3. And I was like, okay, Maria Gerlando, we've got something different here. And then winning multiple pageants against women who were more experienced, taller, had like these incredible professions like lawyers, doctors, teachers, who were mothers, like little 5'2" me was like standing winning the crown. And I'm like, okay, we've got our own way of doing things. So when I joined, like when I started coaching, I did it my own way. Comment yes or yes, pageant gals. And this might be something that not everybody agrees with, and that's totally okay. I've kind of toyed with sharing this. Everyone's saying yes. I haven't even told you what to say yes about yet. I love you all. I think it's so interesting that everybody who starts pageant coaching, and this is no shame to pageant coaches, I'm one of them. I do weird stuff too. But everybody who decides to start running a pageant coaching business starts with one-on-one single session coaching. So like, hear me out. Every single person who decides I'm going to be a pageant coach sets up a calendar online with a 30 or 60-minute session and says, this is how we're going to do it. And every single person is doing it that way. If every single coach is doing 30 or 60-minute one-on-one sessions and every single competitor is signing up for 30 or 60-minute one-on-one sessions, what the heck is the difference? It's kind of like going to the dentist. You could go to any dentist in your area. Everybody goes to the dentist, like every 8 months. You get your teeth cleaned, then you leave. It's like some people have cleaner teeth, some people don't. Some people need extra help. And it confused me, the fact that everybody joins like coaching and does the exact same thing as everybody else. And I was like, okay, that's not the way I'm going to do it. Because I didn't win that way. I don't believe I need someone for one session. Like the way I became the Queen, Maria, Miss Canada, international role model, the pageant gal, is not from doing things the way I see other people do it. And again, maybe this is just me. Maybe I've got to articulate it a bit better. So this is what I started to do. I claimed the pageant gal. The pageant gal. I'm not just a pageant coach. This is the pageant gal. This is the queendom. I am not just a pageant coach. You know what we do in the pageant gal queendom that we have here? We have pink clothing that we wear and we own. Pink branding everywhere, pink and yellow. We run free masterclasses. We do programs because in my experience, most women don't even know who they are. They don't even know why they want to win. They have no platform. They don't know what they stand for. So why am I going to be in a one-on-one session with them? Because that's what I did. The first client I took on, we tried to do an interview and her answers were so jumbled up because she had no idea who she was, what she stood for. She couldn't talk about her career. She couldn't talk about her platform. She couldn't talk about her hobbies because she was so disconnected from herself. And I said, you know what? We don't got to do interview right now. We don't got to do runway. We've got to connect you with yourself. And then as I started to do that over and over again, I was like, I could do a program, get 10 women inside, teach them all this, and then send them all off on their winning way. And that's exactly what we do. So we do masterclasses. We say chin up, crown on. Why? Does anybody else in the pageant coaching world have a slogan like that? I have no idea. Maybe you all could tell me. But I was like, you know what? We got to have some fun here. Chin up, crown on reminds you, oh yeah, let me make sure the crown doesn't fall. Let me remember who I am. Let me remind myself of the queen I am. Let's all do it right now. Just like maybe right now in your spot, you got to like sit up a little bit taller, chin up, crown on. I didn't do that because I saw any other coach doing that. I didn't start a Facebook group because I saw any other coach have a Facebook group. I said the pageant gals need more sisterhood. We need more community. We're so against each other. We're so in competition that we forget that we're all going after the same thing, which again is happiness, fulfillment, purpose, and impact. And the more we're in spaces together, we grow. We break down these elements of I'm against her and I'm worse than her. She's better than me. So we have a community. We started programs, free masterclasses. I don't know any other pageant coach that has ever talked about business. Maybe some of them have. Again, I don't know. But I was like, this is significant. This is not just about pageants. This is about life. I want you to drop in the chat, what is your way? What is your way of doing things? The Avery way, Leilani way, Alexa's way, Aaliyah's way, Gabby's way, Elaine's way. What is doing it your way look like? And by the way, I've never said the term the pageant gal way before. That just like came out in here because that's how I'm revolutionizing. Because I don't want to be like how everybody else does things. The way, like you all being here, I hope you all get a sense that we don't do things the way other coaches do. We don't do things the way that the pageant industry does it. Like we are our own industry here. We are the pageant gals. We have our own way of doing things. What does your way look like? Your way is 10 times better than anybody else's. What does your way look like with your platform, with the way you do pageant prep, with the actions plus the way that you feel? Being authentic, impactful, empowering. The pageant gal way looked like coming right out of the woodworks into the pageant coaching space and saying, I don't offer a single sessions, which I still rarely do. I say, if you want to work with me, it's going to be over time. Because that's how I see my clients get the best results. Even today, like at the end of this year, the clients that worked with us one-on-one for 1 week, we had an 88% placement rate. The clients that worked with us one-on-one for at least a month, so like not including the women who worked only for a 1 week, because we did these 1 week intensives, the women that worked with me for a 1 month time frame or more, 92% placement rate. Tell me if it takes time. And these were clients in these one-on-one spaces. It was their first pageant. It was a month before their pageant, but we got them to a place where they could stand out in place and win. So again, I'm kind of like asking myself, I'm like, I love the 1 week intensives, but I know in my heart and soul, I see the data that when women join my type of coaching, the way the pageant gal does things for at least a month, we like our placement and win rates go up 4%. So am I going to call you forward a little bit to invest in yourself a little bit more so that you have a better chance of getting a better result? Yeah. And it's not going to be one single session. It's not going to be one day. It's going to be a commitment, because when you're committed over time, again, like the long-term game, when you're invested, you get more skin in the game. You buy into yourself more. You believe in yourself more. You're more all in. It like reinforces the whole cycle. Not saying that you have to work with us one-on-one. Staying true to who I am, no matter what. Buy sparkly things. Heck yes. Would you all know that this time last year on Black Friday, I bought a ton of pink outfits. I had no pink in my wardrobe. No pink. No pink anywhere. And I was like, we are the pageant gal. We love pink. Why do I not have a pink shirt to put on? So that now I've had like 3 different rounds of like buying shirts. Like, look at this pink bow. How cute is this? I love this. And I was like, we're going to wear pink earrings. We're going to wear sparkly things. We're going to do our makeup. That's how intentional I am. I don't even wear clothes that are outside of the pageant gal way, that are outside of Queen Maria's way. I almost wanted to title this training, How I Built a 6-Figure Business Wearing Pink. Maybe that'll be a post. Yes, pink, so cute. I need a wardrobe makeover. And that's just a part of it. But what is your way? Pink rules. Let's go. I was the pink sister growing up. How can you do it your way? How can you revolutionize and pave the way? It might feel weird at first because you're literally doing things that you don't see other people doing. So 2 ways that I want you all to start doing this is 1, stop looking at the way other people are doing it, because you're always going to subconsciously kind of like base what you're doing based off of someone else. And then 2, have more dreaming and visioning sessions with yourself. Who here is a Win the Crown member? Type win in the chat. When we launched the Win the Crown membership in August of this year, I said that the women who join within the first buying period are all going to get a crown necklace. So I purchased crown necklaces. They were not expensive at all, but I was like, they don't even know it. I just told them all, I didn't even announce this because I was like, I just want it to be women who move. Like August is not really like, that's kind of the end of pageant season, you know, but I was like, whatever, we're launching the membership. The doors are closed right now until 2024. But we bought everyone a crown necklace. Some of them are still in the membership, some aren't, but I was like, how fun would it be to say, hey, I invested in myself. I was one of the first people a part of this program. And now we all have like a crown necklace together. I didn't wear it. It clashed with the bow. Gabby's in it, Jules in it. What is your way? Calling me out. Yes, Cheyenne. Yes. And the second part to this, we're almost done, was that I set my soul on fire. I set my soul free. This one doesn't have as much of like a tangible thing to it. What I did is I had to take a risk. When it got to May of this year in June, and I started looking at my income in my business, and I was like, we could do this. I was like, we could go full time in the business right now. And I didn't for about a month or two. I was scared. I thought, well, yeah, I've been able to create this up until now, but who's to say I'm going to be able to keep going? Where it's like, yeah, clients are working with me right now because it's pageant season, but what happens when pageant season is over and then my income dips and then I can't pay rent or bills or anything? I had to be daring. I had to claim that the goal was something that I wasn't just working towards, but it was going to be something I actually did. That I had to bet on me. I had to move. That I wasn't just doing all of this work over 18 months to get to a point where I was like, okay, we could do this, and then decide not to do it. Because here's the thing, working full time for a year and a half, I was comfortable. I was doing the things. I was making the income. I got to a point where I was ready to fully go all in, and it was scary. And I had to set my soul on fire. I had to tell myself, what would it be like to do it, for everything to work out? I had to trust that even if things didn't work out or if things dipped down for a bit, that I had my own back. This is something I shared recently. I've got to have my own back. You've all got to have your own back. You've got to know that if things go right, if things go wrong, if things fail, if things take a turn, that you will take care of yourself. No one else. Not my parents, not my fiance, not my community, me. Again, this goes with why you have to first believe that you are the one. You have to believe that you are the one. You've got to have your own back. You've got to trust yourself. Trust comes from doing the things that you say you're going to do over and over. My sense of self-trust, I believe it was last year in 2022, my word was trust, because in all honesty, I did not trust myself to make things happen. Now, I got back from Miss Universe and I said, I'm waking up at 6:30 in the morning and going working out because I trust myself so much. That has happened almost every single day. It happened this morning. I've built trust. It was a muscle. But more importantly, it had to be through setting my soul on fire and saying, like, am I really living? And what does living really look like to me? Setting my soul on fire looked like I had to be comfortable completely changing my schedule. I went from working like 40 to 60 hours a week in business and nursing to all of a sudden having a ton of free time. That was really weird. You're all probably like, wow, I would love to do that. It was scary. I was like, I have so much time. What do I do? But you have to dare. You have to be courageous. You have to take the risk. You have to get comfortable. Yes, write this out. I had to get uncomfortable being uncomfortable because I had to trust that I had it. I would make it work. Things as you go along your journey, pageant gals, because we're coming to the end and then we're going to chat about what's next if you're open to it. Things don't get less scary. I do believe that at some point things do get easier, right? I won one pageant. It made winning a second pageant easier. Winning that second pageant made the third one easier. Winning the third one made the fourth one easier. Getting one client was a little bit difficult. Getting two clients was a little bit easier. Running my first group program was difficult. Running the third group program became easier. Things do get easier. You learn the skills, but things do not get less scary. You just get better at navigating it. I don't have less problems now than I did a year ago. They're just different problems, and I know how to navigate them. And of course, I'm used to it because I've been all in. I've been navigating them for so long now. And when I don't know how to navigate them, guess what? I'm in mentorship where I can ask someone who has been through these things, where I can get support from other people. Nobody can set your soul on fire but you. And before I actually took the leap and I left my nursing line, I still work as a nurse occasionally, but before I did that, I had like 3 conversations with different mentors. I purchased coaching with certain people because I was like, I need to talk this out. Like, I need to get some sort of like confirmation in my soul. And it wasn't until I heard this saying, set your soul on fire. This is what it looks like. And I looked at it logically and illogically. Logically, as in my bills are paid, I've got income, I can do this. And then I looked at it illogically with like, how much time am I wasting at a job that's not setting my soul on fire? And I had to look at it that way. Because if you want an illogical result, if you want to be the first one to do this, put your goal in the chat. What you want to accomplish in 2024. What is that thing that you're looking to achieve? Put it in the chat. If you are looking to do this and it feels like the odds are against you, if it feels like it's taken a long time, if it feels like you're not there, you're not getting there, and rebrand, monetize my platform, preach, someone says. If you want to get there, you're going to have to set your soul on fire. Miss Collegiate America 2024, that's right. It's not just about doing all of the things, right? It's not just about revolutionizing. It's not just about taking the daily actions, investing and being all in. You also have to set your soul on fire and be the woman who does the action, who takes the journey, who takes the risk when risk needs to be taken, who trusts herself, who has the courage to take bold moves, to set the boundaries, to have the difficult conversations. Miss Wisconsin USA, make 6 figures with my self-care business. Absolutely, you all can. You've got to set your soul on fire and be comfortable being that person. Go to Miss Illinois, grow the platform. Cheering you on, Alexa. See, this is the queendom that we have. This could have been 10 hours long. We won't make it 10 hours long. And again, like I said, this training really was not about me, but it was about the 3 things that I am able to look back now and look and say, because I am the queen of my life, because I'm a queen who trusts herself, who goes all in, who invests, who moves her own way, who takes daily actions, who sets her soul on fire, who knows that I deserve more because it's just part of who I am. I'm meant to live a big life, right? The 5 pillars of being a pageant gal. Start a biz with my art. Yes, Cheyenne. I hope I'm saying your name right. I apologize if I'm not. Because it's my birthright, because it's who I am, because it's what I'm destined to do, because we as pageant gals, if you're here in this space, you're not here to live a small life. You're here to do things in a big way, in your own way, to be challenged, to change the status quo, and to lead a really big movement. And sharing this, like I said, it was so edgy. It felt so edgy to talk about things that I've never talked about before, that I don't see a lot of people talking about. But I'm here sharing it with you all, extracting the lessons and the wisdom, because I want you all to know what's possible for you when you rule, when you follow your rules, when you reign every day, when you revolutionize and do things your own way. You can create a 6 or a 7-figure business. You can win a national or international title. Miss Illinois, Miss Collegiate America, those will be small goals when you look back 5 or 10 years from now at what you're able to accomplish. Write a book, a podcast, run a speaking business, a self-care business. Travel the world, walk in New York Fashion Week, go to Miss Universe. You can do anything. Literally anything is possible. But like I said, it's got to start with believing I'm the one. I'm the one and I can do it. And putting yourself in more spaces and more opportunities so that that path gets clearer, it gets smoother, so that you can go towards it. Will this be posted? Yes, this is uploaded in the Facebook group as we speak. And so if it's okay with you all, if I can share the next steps, this is actually going to be launching tomorrow. For those of you who do want to continue on, who do want that next level customized support, this is mainly for my gals who are competing in a pageant in 2024. So if you are not competing in a pageant, we've got other programs to support you coming in the new year. And all I want you to do is just drop yes. Jules like, yes, Jules already on board. If it's okay if we share what's coming up and opportunities for you all to continue forward. You do not have to, but heck, we're already here. Let's go. I love it. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. This is amazing. I'm so excited. We are bringing back the Queen Collective. Da, 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 da. I feel like I need a drum roll or something. The Queen Collective is a program I ran throughout 2023. So this year it was created and birthed. It was ran in a completely different way. And I said, we need more women in the Queen Collective vibe, in the Queen Collective space, supporting them, going towards their pageant, their purpose, their platform, and life goals. So what this is, it's a 3-month group training membership. It's not like the Win the Crown membership. I'll share the differences between them, but this is for women who are seasoned pageant competitors, meaning that you've done at least one pageant before. If this is your first pageant and you've never competed before, this is probably going to be a little bit more high level for you. You might need a little bit more like direct support, like the membership. But this is for women who want weekly customized support. So you can take your platform, your performance, and your entire existence in pageantry and life to winning status, where your influence is known around the world. Okay. It's different than our Win the Crown membership. The Win the Crown membership is also a monthly membership, but it's more for the actions and steps to be taking in your pageant prep. The Queen Collective, you get more customized one-on-one, one to group support throughout the weeks, throughout the months, right? Win the Crown membership, you don't get a lot of one-on-one support from me. You don't get a lot of direct coaching. If you want direct coaching, if you love this and you want to like go back and forth and have conversations about your pageant journey, about your social media, about your platform, this is where you want to be. We actually had pre-registration open up a month ago. We already have 5 women inside and there's room for more. So what this is, it's a 3-month group mentorship space to elevate your personal and pageant brand, your platform, your mindset, to understand what your story is, also that you can be the queen of your daily life. So it's embodying the 3 pillars of being a queen and then putting it out into the universe by sharing your story, putting it on social media, and of course, going to your pageant and winning the crown. Even though, I mean, I guess someone could probably take this and still have amazing results, even if they're not competing, but that's really what we're doing here, right? It's about the pageant way. How it works. What is the number of spots available? We have 10 spots available left, Cheyenne. And we're launching to the public tomorrow, but you're all going to get a special offer for being here today. If you say, heck yes, I want in. So how this 3 months works. First of all, it's a minimum of 3 months. So let's say your pageant is 4 months away and you want to be in for 4 months. You can join for the 3-month minimum and add 1 month on to support you up until your competition. If your pageant is 3 months away and you only want to be in for 3 months, that's okay. But if your pageant is like next month, this is not the space for you. Like I said, we're super clear about who this is for. Cheyenne's like, heck yes, I want in. I love this. So 3 months of expert level prep and coaching support from myself. So what you get every single month for a minimum of 3 months is 2 hot seat coaching calls. Who knows what hot seat means? Comment yes if you know what it is. Comment no if you don't know what it is. Jewel's been in our hot seat before. She knows what it is. Leilani knows. No, Kaylee. Okay, I'm going to share what it is just so that you all know. So hot seat works where it's not just we're on the call and I'm teaching you things like we did today. It's a space where each of you has the opportunity to come up and share what you're working on and ask for your direct feedback. It's different than the Win the Crown membership because like people like Gabby are in the membership where you just like ask your question in the chat and I give a response. In hot seat coaching, I almost imagine it like a game show. It's like you get to come up, unmute, share what you're doing, any struggles you're having, and what support you need to prepare, to launch your platform, to go after sponsors, to improve your interview runway, all of those things. It's a little bit more direct. So not only do you get hot seat coaching with the group 2 each month, you also get to see other women getting coached on what they're working towards, where you will indirectly get that coaching too. Because other women are going to be asking questions and bringing up scenarios that you've probably never even thought of. And you're like, that's really great. I'm going to try that out. So 2 of those every month. Every month, we're going to do 1 mock interview coaching session with a peer. So what that means is we're all going to gather on Zoom together and you're going to break out into groups of 2. You're each going to ask each other the same set of interview questions. Those will all be provided by me. You're going to do a mock interview every month with a peer. And then after that's done, we do 30 minutes of interview coaching on how that interview went and how you can improve it. So again, like I said, we're not teaching you how to interview. By now, you've been doing interview. You know how to interview. This is for you to elevate, to refine, to practice your speaking skills, and then to get a little bit of feedback in that session. Aside from those 3 live coaching sessions every month, we're also going to have 3 days of Facebook group chat support. So what that looks like is if you have an additional question, if you have a runway video, if you have a piece of wardrobe, if you have anything else that's coming up that you want me to review, we have 3 days that will be dedicated to just going through those things. And I highly recommend using that space for runway review and wardrobe review. You can do wardrobe review on the hot seat coaching calls. You just have to like bring photos, but I find that actually getting to put it in the chat support will help. It's not required, but again, weekly customized support so that we can get you the support, the guidance, the feedback, and everything you need in all areas of your pageant journey. So you feel really confident leading up to the title. I'll go through these last two and then we'll talk about what the cost is. The pageant prep starter kit, the ultimate pageant prep starter kit. I don't know if anyone here has the full kit itself, but what it is my starting point for anybody who is new to pageantry. It includes trainings like Queen Camp, which is pageantry 101. You know what I mean? It's like, this is how you do interview. This is the poses to do on stage. This is how you approach a sponsor. Here's how to create a platform. It is very basic 101 for women. Even if the reason why I include this in the Queen Collective is because a lot of women have been in, Jules, like, I'm waiting patiently. A lot of women have been in pageants and actually have no clue what they're doing. And I wanted to give the women in this space, not only the coaching to become an expert competitor and winner, but also the foundations of pageant prep. So you have all the skills you need to win. And then the community, which is priceless. It's over a $3,000 value for this entire program for just the 3 months. That is Canadian. For my gals in the US, these prices are about 30% less. And what I'll do, because so many of you, I almost just sent that to Avery. Avery, you're welcome to join this here. I'm going to send the checkout link. It's 1,447 in full Canadian. It's about 1,200 USD, give or take, or 3 payments of 497. Now, we start in January. Before that, for those of you who are like, I already know I want to go. We actually have a couple of bonuses for the women who want to purchase in the next 24 hours. Okay. So first of all, the program itself for the value is half off for 3 months of customized coaching. For every single week, you could purchase a 1-hour session for $100 for 4 weeks, and it would be about the same cost as this. So I was like, this kind of like makes a lot of sense when it comes to the pageant coaching world. So it's 1,447 Canadian in full, or 3 payments of 497. Joining today locks your spot for January. The Queen Collective will be open year round. So if you're like, I'm competing in like September, maybe I want to join in June, you can join in June. The only thing is I can't guarantee that the price will stay the same. So the Queen Collective bonuses, because I couldn't leave you all hanging. The gals who joined a couple months ago or last month, they got incredible bonuses. But if you join within the next 24 hours, the first bonus that you get is a 15-minute one-on-one strategy call with me. And something you got to know about time with me one-on-one is that we can get more done in 15 minutes than a 60-minute session with anybody else because of how powerful, potent, and specific we are on these 15-minute calls. Next is when you join within the next 48 hours. So this is going to be a public offer. But if you join within the next 48 hours, because we're not starting until January, and I said, you know what? I want to give the pageant gals something to support them, your goals, your dreams for 2024, even before we start in January. So if you join within the next 48 hours, you get access to the program that is happening at the end of December, which is the Black Friday Secret. If you're in the Black Friday Secret, comment me. I know Gabby's in it, Bianca, Leilani. Yes, this is what it's going to be. It is the Year You Win Mini Mind. That thing was like kind of cool too. I didn't know it would do that. So this is a 1-week program that is going to be for you to create your goals, your vision, and your strategic plan for 2024 for both pageantry and life. Think of it as like vision boarding on fire, but it's like an entire week long where we're going to have a session, an entire week of chat support to create what the vision you are stepping into in 2024 is going to be. It's so funny. Tia is in this program and she messaged me when she signed up. She was like, I hope it's a vision board thing. And I was like, I'm not saying anything. Now it's not just vision boarding. We're creating the vision that you want to achieve for the end of 2024. Kaylee says, can I just join this? Yes. I'm going to drop the link in the email that you'll get after this. The cost, the value of the Year You Win is 197 Canadian. But when you join the Queen Collective in the next 48 hours, you get this included, plus the 15-minute one-on-one. Jewel says, got to head out for the school concert. Have fun. So again, I'm going to go back 2 seconds. So 3 months of coaching. Each month you get 2 group hot seat coaching sessions to ask your specific questions, get feedback, get coaching and direction on those calls. You also get a monthly mock interview with a peer. So if your goal is to really practice and refine your interview and speaking skills, you have every single month a chance to do that. You get 3 days of Facebook group support for any additional questions that come up during the month. Access to the Ultimate Pageant Prep Starter Kit, which you get immediate access to. So the pageant starter kit alone is valued at over $800. If you purchase it separately, it's $497. So already your first payment in the Queen Collective is like just going towards the starter kit. It's completely free when you join, and you automatically get to start taking those trainings even before we start in January. Then these 2 bonuses, the 15-minute one-on-one if you sign up in the next 24 hours. And access to the Year You Win Mini Mind if you join in the next 48 hours. Kaylee says, do we work with teens? We do have a teen. We have 2 teens who are in the Win the Crown membership. I'm not opposed to it. If you're someone who feels like you can grasp the concepts that I'm saying, and more importantly, if you also have support from your elders, from your parents, that's the more important thing. But I will say that I feel like the women who are really going to benefit from spaces like the Queen Collective are women who are able to make their own decisions, are able to make their own investments, and who can implement strategic coaching and things that we discuss on these calls. And the reason is because if you're the one who's making the investment and commitment, you are so much more committed to the process. So I would have to consider, I would say, let's have a conversation, Kaylee, on, and this is the time, by the way, anybody, to ask any questions you have either about the training or about the Queen Collective. We would have to have a conversation before just accepting a teen in, I think, just so that you're getting like the most benefit from it. But this is going to be the main way we work with women one-on-one throughout the new year. Not one-on-one, but we're taking on less one-on-one clients because in my experience, women who are in groups and spaces together learn and grow so much faster. It becomes like a mini mastermind where instead of asking, how do I interview? What questions should I get? You're asking higher level questions like, how do I do this? Or this is my story, how should I share it? Or my goal is to take my platform internationally. What are some ways that we can do that? And being together in spaces with other women where you can do your own path, your own pageant prep, plus learn from them, you become such a stronger competitor. You become more identified in your mission, in what you do. Not because you're copying other people, but because you're around other women who are sure of themselves, who are on their own journey. And like I said, you also get access to the Year You Win Mini Mind happening at the end of this month for 1 week. These details will go public next week for the Year You Win Mini Mind. The Queen Collective is launching full on to the public tomorrow. But by tomorrow evening, the 15-minute one-on-one will be gone. Is this space your next move? The way to know that, again, I'm going to drop the link one more time in the chat here. The way to know that this is your next space is that you are done doing things the way that you have before. You've been invested in your goals. You have been working with coaches. You've been moving towards the things that you want, and you're ready to be challenged. You're ready to say, I'm going at this in a different way than I have before. You're ready to say, I don't want this to be on my vision board next year. I don't want to still be going after this goal this time next year. I want to move differently. I want to be in a space with other queens who are also standing for their platforms, who are advocating for their causes, who are making a bigger statement on social media, who are building internationally recognized brands. So if you recognize yourself as one of those people, if you're ready to invest in yourself for the next minimum of 3 months, then this is your space. And if you have any questions as well, you're more than welcome to DM me. I'm the Pageant Gal on Instagram to confirm if this is your next space for your pageant preparation, so that you're not just going on the goal on your own, but you're in a space of other winners supporting your goals. If it is, we welcome you open arms to the Queen Collective. It is an incredible space. We have some amazing women who are going for international and national titles. That's why I said, like, this is a group of winners, like seasoned pageant competitors. We're not just doing the basics. You all know the basics. You know the steps. Now we're kicking things up a notch. We're really setting your soul on fire. We're really going all in. Not just in January 2024, but we're starting it now. I believe that's it for my slideshow, and we're at the 90-minute mark. I'm gonna take a sip of water. If you have any questions, either about today's training, about the 3 pillars of being the queen of your life, where you can achieve any goal you set in any amount of time that you set it in, drop those in the chat. Lilani says, if I join now, you think it would be what I need right now. So if you are competing for a national or international pageant in 2024, and you know that you've got the interview, you've got the runway, you've done these things before, and each time you do them, you feel like this could be better. This could like really be anchored in who I am and what I stand for. And you don't feel 10 out of 10 confident in your why, like why you, your mission, your platform, your plan as the title holder, this would be an incredible space. From what it sounds like, Leilani, only because we've chatted a few times, it does sound like this would be the next space for you to move, for you to be challenged. Too many women I find have been coming to me saying that I've been kind of like doing okay. They're like, I could win, I could not win. And they're like, but I want to be pushed. I want to be like in that next level zone. I want to be that next level of all in, where I'm cutting the excuses, where I say I'm the one, and then I'm doing the things that I want to be doing. So I would say if it's been on your mind, if it's something that you're able to do for 3 months' time, imagine where you'll be 3 months. Imagine the transformation, the insights you've already had from one call together. Imagine 3 months of weekly coaching support with me. How much that will change your mindset, your perspective in pageantry, the way you compete, the way you view yourself, the way you view your goals, the way you interview, the way you carry yourself. Again, this was just one session. Imagine 3 months together. And 3 months is not a very long time. I need help with walking an interview. What is the best program to help me push forward? I would say that if you need help with specifically walking an interview, there's also probably an element, Kaylee, where you need help with a little bit of everything. And not to say that it's not that you're terrible at everything, but typically when I hear that, it's somebody who needs a little bit of everything. And in the Queen Collective, like I said, you get access to the Ultimate Pageant Prep Starter Kit, which covers runway, which covers interview, so that when we go into weekly coaching, you're not asking things like, how do I pose? What questions do I get answered? You're showing up and asking things like, this is my why. What is my plan? How can I implement this? This is my interview answer for, tell me about yourself. What do you think? How can I improve it? I'm interested in doing the Year You Win. You know what, everyone? I don't have the link for that. Maybe I'll pull that up. I'll pull that up and that will be sent out, and we'll also tag it in the Facebook group, the Year You Win Mini Mind. Avery says, yeah, I'm interested in doing the Year You Win. And like I said, if you do have the 3 months, if you're interested in joining for the 3-month Queen Collective, you get the Year You Win Mini Mind included, which is a $197 Canadian value. We'll drop that in the Facebook group when it launches, but we'll also send it out to the email list afterwards. So if you registered, you'll get the link to the Year You Win Mini Mind if you just want to join that, it'll be an incredible program. This is the first time we're dropping the name to it. Okay. Incredible questions, ladies. Thank you so much for being here today. I don't know when we're going to be doing another masterclass. Like I said, I've been kind of like, my soul has been set on fire ever since coming back from Miss Universe. This is our 3rd masterclass that has been free for 3 weeks in a row. So I don't know when the next one will exactly be. But what I do know is that when you invest in yourself, you have more skin in the game. It develops a certain level of self-belief. So my encouragement to you is not to just look forward to the next free masterclass, and to be the woman who trusts herself to invest in her goals in a bigger way. The level you invest is the level to which you have self-belief. So if you believe in you, if you're ready to take that next step, we welcome you to the Queen Collective. And if it's not right now, know that we love every single one of you. And we're still supporting you, even if it's through this masterclass, through the membership, which will open up in the new year. Can I access? Yeah, so we do have previous masterclasses in our Facebook group. This masterclass will also be there. So if you want to go back and take this like 5 or 10 times because it's amazing, you absolutely can. We appreciate this so much. You're welcome, Clarissa. Okay, everyone, you'll get an email with the replay. The replay will also be inside of the Facebook group. The Queen Collective launches to the public tomorrow, but if you want to capitalize on those two bonuses, the 15-minute one-on-one, the Year You Win Mini Mind, join in the next 24 and 48 hours, and you will have those bonuses. And even if it's sometime in the new year, we are so excited to have you all. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for your info and presence. You're welcome. I love each of you. You can do so many big things. You are a queen. Keep going. Chin up, crown on, and you can conquer anything you have your heart set on. Thank you, Aaliyah. So happy to have you here. Bye, everyone. Bye. Beautiful smiles. Now I see everybody. Bye, Christina. Bye, Leilani.